Hey guys, I want to share an issue that I'm experiencing. This video is also going to Bluetti support as they've requested to see this issue. So here is the issue, or here's my setup. I have two AC300s. They're in split phase mode. I do not have the Fusion box connected. The only thing that is connected is the communication cable so that these two can actually sync for their different phases. The problem will occur no matter if the Fusion box is connected and I have, let's say, an appliance connected directly into an AC300, or if I had this going through the Fusion. It does not seem to matter. The problem actually has to do with when I have AC input coming in. So this is my grid coming in to my AC300s, and then obviously it does a split phase, so this is L1 and L2, and both of these are being powered by the grid. When I have that AC plug plugged in and the two AC300s sense that there is grid power, this problem occurs. So what is the problem? Well, I have, let's say, a small appliance. This is a portable air conditioning unit. If I try to fire this on right now with the AC grid plugged in with these two sensing grid power, this will initially start to fire up, and then it will act like it trips the AC300 that it's in. What it really appears to be doing is that it's almost like it's trying to do a grid pass-through, and for some reason it just can't do it, and it winds up cutting the power outbound AC to everything. So let's say I had something plugged in here, 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 here. All of the outbound power from the AC300s on both units get shut off. Obviously, that doesn't help me with critical loads that I may be having. Now, I'll kind of, run a test right now and show you this. And then I'll show you that then if I remove or disconnect the AC grid input, this then will fire up perfectly fine. So let's go ahead and do a couple quick things real quick. I'll show you that this thing is actually plugged in. Okay, so right now it's pulling about, let's say, almost 500 watts from the grid. It's probably going to stop here in a second because I have my SOC for the UPS mode set to 80%, so it really honestly should stop here in a second. And then this guy over here is actually not pulling anything because obviously it's reached its SOC high. If I go over here to, let's say, the grid power, actually let's not do that, let's do AC load. The output state right now is bypass output D, and then the other one is, let me see, it gets camera to focus, same thing, bypass, actually this one's bypass output C. I'm assuming because well, I don't know why it's doing that. I was going to say, well, now it's changed to D. I think it was C before because it was pulling wattage, but we can see that it's not running on inverter. It's actually utilizing grid pass-through. So we'll have both of these on. Let me go back to the main menu in here. Okay, so they're both not pulling anything from the grid right now. Okay, and then we're going to try firing on the AC. So I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to have to lower it down so the compressor actually comes on. So now you hear just the fan. No issues, no problem with that. Obviously the fan right now is pulling about 40 watts. No issues, no problem. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to lower this temperature so that the compressor comes on, and then I'm going to quickly try to come back over here so that you can see the spike wattage, which is not very high, and you should be able to see and hear the fan's not on anymore, the compressor's not on anymore, and you should hear the two AC300s basically reset incoming and outgoing power. So let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so there's that. 700 watts, 750. Oh, it just reset. Okay, so you can see outbound AC just got reset. This went from green to gray, which actually, let's see if maybe we can catch that and see if it says something different next time. Okay, so this time I'm going to leave it on this menu here so we can see if the output state changes when it fails. Okay, so we're going to turn on the AC again. Okay, right now you're just going to hear the fan. I'm going to lower the compressor. Lower it so the compressor comes on. Okay, let's see what this says. Okay, now it's trying to go to the inverter, and it failed. Okay, so now it's stop state. Everything's resetting. Now it's back to bypass output D. Okay, so this is the issue I've been having. It's other appliances are doing it too. Right next to this, I actually have some freezers. They were causing this issue. Let's say if I plug them in all at the same time, and their spike startup in wattage would cause the exact same issue. I was able to resolve these by putting a soft starter box on my freezers, and basically they would, instead of doing a spike load of wattage to start up, it would slowly increase the wattage until these start. That fixed that issue. Another appliance I'm having this issue with as well is a garbage disposal. Exact same thing. You fire it on, initially run for a few seconds, and then it kind of reaches its peak, and then it would trip or reset the AC300's exact same manner. I put the soft starter box on the garbage disposal, and it also fixed that issue, no problem. This is the one I can't put a soft starter box on. It's not designed for this type of AC unit, so I can't do that. So let's show you how I can get this working, and it's weird. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over here. Actually, let me show you this first. Okay, hopefully you guys can see color. You can see it's sensing grid because it's orange at the top. Okay, it's obviously not pulling anything. I'll come over here to this one too. We're gonna go back. Okay, and once again, it's sensing grid because it's orange. So we're gonna go up here. I'm not gonna unplug this because I can turn it off in a different manner by just killing the breaker. So you're gonna hear the two AC300s complain because I'm killing the power and they may go out of sync for a second. So we're just gonna wait for them to stop complaining. The slave is currently complaining. Okay, so now they're back both in sync. And then you can see my grid is now white, or it might look a little gray to you guys, but there is no more AC power plugged in. And then same thing, that one is gray or white, okay? So if I go here to AC load, it's gonna say now it's inverter output. And let's see if I get this to focus. Okay, inverter output. Now we're gonna fire this thing up. Okay, there's the fan. We're gonna go up here so you can see right now it's doing about 38 watts, almost 40, okay, just like before. But now we're gonna get the compressor to come on by lowering this. Okay, you can hear the compressor coming on. And obviously you don't hear it tripping. Okay, so this guy is perfectly still running with no issues, no problem. With AC or grid plugged in, I have that problem. Okay, now the other element too is, let me turn this off so you guys can hear me, okay? This fixes this if I don't have any AC plugged in. It fixes those with or without a soft box. Soft starter box, and it fixes my garbage disposal. As long as I'm running on internal batteries, or I believe solar would probably do it too, since it's DC. Both those are DC sources. As long as the inverter is outputting, I have no issues with spike loads. If I have that grid plugged in, something's going on inside of here that it's trying to, I don't know, compensates, change something, move something. I don't really know what's going on here, but hopefully somebody can give me an answer on this. Temporarily right now, I really do want to keep the AC plugged in because that was part of the feature I wanted, was the UPS feature, that if I run out of power because I don't have enough solar or the grid goes down, blackout, brownout, whatever it may be, I want these things to still produce power. But ideally, if I don't produce enough solar, I still want to be able to pull from my grid as a backup. So let me know if any of you guys are experiencing this, and hopefully this same video that's going to Bluetti support, they'll be able to give us some guidance as well. Hey guys, I want to add one more thing. I've already tested this and I forgot to mention this, and I just want to show it in this video as well too. This is only a split phase issue. If I come and I'm going to actually turn off split phase. So right now I have the AC output off. That's what's required to turn on or off split phase. So I'm going to go to settings. I'm going to go to the next menu. Machine type is currently split phase, so I'm going to set it to single phase. As soon as I do this, you're going to start hearing the machines complaining because one's still trying to be split phase and the other one is going to be turned off. So single phase here. I'm going to go over to the other one here. Settings, next, machine type, and we're going to go single phase, okay? So both of them are at single phase. They'll stop complaining here in a second. Okay. It takes a second. Okay, that alarm's cleared. This one usually takes a little bit longer. If not, we're just going to go in here and clear it. Okay, so they're in single phase. So basically, even though I have the communication cable still connected, each one of these are acting independent right now. So I'm going to go up here. We're going to turn on the power. We only need to turn it on to this first one. That's actually why I didn't do a double pole breaker here, so I can independently turn on each. So this slave, or what was a slave, is not getting any AC power, and then this one over here is getting power. I think hopefully you guys can see that. Okay, so it's orange. We'll just turn this one on too, just so everything's the same. Okay, so we'll turn this guy on too. And it'll take a second. And okay, so orange and orange. We only really care about this guy because this is where our AC unit is actually connected. So we're going to turn back on output of AC. Okay, so you can see that that's green. You can also see that my spool has turned on. This is my notification system. It basically says, it's plugged in right here, if the outbound power stops here, this is going to send me an alert to my cell phone. I think that's one thing that Bluetti really failed on, is if I have critical loads on here, or let's say a freezer or a fridge, I want to know if this has stopped sending power. I think that's something that needs to be added. But for the portable AC unit now, we're going to give it a shot. Remember, we have bypass output D again, which means that we have AC grid power this time. This is where our issue happened. However, this is in split phase mode now. So let's turn this on. Okay, there's our fan. Okay, 40 watts. And we're gonna lower this so we get the compressor turned on. And as you can tell, works perfectly fine. Okay, so if we're running in split phase, that problem that I just showed with the AC grid being connected, that's my issue. If these are, even with the communication cable connected, as long as we're running in single phase, no issue. So just wanted to highlight that extra point here before I ended this video.